discuss today was, should you, or is it even worth it to start on a 1000cc bike? In my opinion, just like to summarize everything immediately so that you have a complete idea. So you have to listen to me yap for the next, I don't know, 10 minutes or however long it takes me. I don't think it's a good idea, even though I did it. I don't think it's a good idea for everybody to do it. With that said, I'll tell you why. I started out on a 1000cc bike because I wanted to. Not because of the hype, but because this specific bike, I got a 2018 Ducati Monster 1200S. This is the bike that I wanted. Like, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of this bike. I kind of feel like it's slept on. But ever since I saw this bike, or seen this bike, in English today, ever since I saw this bike, I wanted it. I couldn't afford it at the time. Many years later, I'm able to get it. And even though it is my first bike, I still took the time to learn the basics of these. I would say that it's not for everybody to start like I did. I would say that the most efficient way or effective way is to take the MSF course and to start out on a slow bike. I would say a slow bike is a good start for learning, and why people say that is because a lot of people don't have, I guess, good control over the throttle and the clutch and shifting. For me, I used to daily drive, well I still have my BMW that's manual, so I had the concept of how to shift, how to use the clutch, the friction zone. I had the basic idea of how to operate a motorcycle. Then I took the proper steps. I got my my license. I took the MSF course. I kind of made like a video of my experience about that. Link it down below if you guys are interested in getting their motorcycle license. I made a video on that, but I got my MSF course license. Well, I took the MSF course. I got my license. What did I do next? Nothing. For many months. I got all the gear I needed. I think that's the most important part, is having all the safety equipment. A lot of people disagree, but I think that's the most important part, especially because it's going to be what saves you in the case that you go down. But I got all my gear, and then I searched and searched and searched until I could find this bike. I also saved up a bunch of money too so I could find this bike. And once I found the bike that I wanted, which was this specific bike, I made a trip out. It was like, I think 5 or 6 hours away. When I picked it up, once I got it, the first thing I did, the very first thing I did, put on all my gear, went to an empty parking lot and practiced. Braking, progressive braking, starting, stopping, shifting, all the basics in a parking lot. First parking lot, then around the neighborhood. All I did was that. Maybe for like an hour or 2 hours a day after work, or maybe the first week or two. That's all I did. I just practiced and practiced. And then gradually, I started using it to commute to different things, like run errands and get haircuts and stuff like that. And I would just get used to riding in traffic, looking around, paying attention to everything. The reason I'm giving all this backstory is to say that my mindset going into this was safety. The whole point of me getting this motorcycle was to enjoy a nice ride, take my time, and cruise around. I'm not trying to be the fastest, but I am trying to be skilled and have fun. The way I see this is that this is a sport. You have to take your time and learn. Just like any other sport, you have to practice. And to practice means that you have to actually put in the time and effort. And I feel like a lot of people don't do that. They pass their MSF course, they get their bike, some basic gear, and hit the street, and they don't think twice about it. I want to be as prepared as possible for any scenario, not just crashing, but I want to be skilled. The ultimate goal for me is to hit the track one day. Not everybody wants to hit the track, not everybody wants to be a track day warrior. Some people just want to have fun on the street, or cheap, and go about the day. I would say that for me, the most important thing was getting a bike that I really wanted. So one, getting the bike that I wanted. Two was being safe. I wanted to make sure that I protected myself at all times. I wanted to make sure that I'm safe, I protect myself, and then I'm aware of my surroundings. Like, even though I'm in this traffic, we're going pretty slow, I'm still paying attention to the people around me. I'm a little distracted because I'm yapping right now, but I'm paying attention as much as I can be. Trying to, at least. I'm paying attention to the people around me. I want to make sure that I'm as safe as possible. I don't want to become a statistic. None of that shit. I want to have fun, occasionally hang out with friends, ride together, but for the most part, I just want to cruise around by myself, go get some food. Anyways, enough yapping about me. Should you, a beginner, a noob, anybody with low experience, you rode dirt bikes, you rode no bikes, you did nothing, should you start a 1000cc bike? I would say no. Just hard no. Unless you're one of these things. Unless you are, for one, very, 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 very what is it? You're very good at self-control. Unless you're very, very good at self-control, you can take your time to learn things. You're not going to rush it. You're patient. That's the only thing that I would say throws off a lot of people. Anybody can learn how to ride on any bike. All it takes is time, effort, and patience, and just being safety oriented. You want to take your time, and you want to have fun, but you also want to be safe. You can't just hop on the bike first go and just start ripping it. You don't know how the bike is. You don't know how your stopping distance is. You don't know how to do anything yet. It's like starting a new sport. You can't just hop into football and become a quarterback making excellent plays when you don't even know the plays. It's a weird analogy, but you kind of get the point. This takes practice. It takes some effort. You gotta pay attention. Look at that traffic coming up. You gotta know when to slow down. You gotta pay attention to the people behind you. There's a lot going on, especially when you're first starting. Along with somebody who doesn't know how to use a clutch. With the brakes, the controls are all separated. It's not like a car where it's just all on the pedal. You gotta use a combination of your hands and feet. Get distracted a little bit. But you gotta use a combination of these things. It's not that easy. At least to start, to learn, if you don't know how to do all this stuff. Because it is overwhelming, because there is a lot of things to consider. Because this is a dangerous activity. This is a dangerous sport. You could end up seriously injured or dead. That is why I recommend people take it slowly. Yes, you can start on a 1000cc bike. Yes, you can be as safe as possible and still have an accident. Nothing's guaranteed. I would say the most important thing is that you have to be patient and you have to have self-control. If you're patient, you have self-control, and you can take your time, then you can do fine. But the problem is that people don't take the time to learn the basic skills. Like, I watch hours and hours of Little Jitsu, and Dan the Fireman, and a bunch of people. Hours and hours of videos about where to position yourself in the lane, what the 3 positions of a lane, how to avoid an accident. Like, say these people slam on their brakes, and you don't want to get sandwiched by the person behind you. Like, look at that, he's on my ass. I can always move over to the side of the road. I can take the shoulder. I can take the middle. Split it between the cars. There's a lot that goes into it. Oh, it's a cute dog. Look at that dog. There's a lot that goes into it. You can't just hop on a bike and start ripping if you're not going to consider all the factors that goes into it. But to just hop on a bike with no experience, especially a powerful bike, these bikes have a lot of torque. You've never experienced it before. You don't know what it feels like. Like, yeah, it sounds crazy when somebody's just explaining it to you, but once you hop on one of these bikes and you crack the throttle all the way open for the first time, you're gonna be like, holy shit, this is crazy. How the fuck do people actually ride these things every day without dying? But anyways, just to reiterate, I would only recommend getting one of these as your first bike if it's something that you really want. Like, this is the bike I know I wanted. For sure, this is what I wanted. I'm never selling this bike. This will be with me forever. I would also recommend buying something that you can afford. I wouldn't finance your first bike, and I know a lot of people say don't finance your first bike because it's expensive and blah blah, if you crash it, so on and so on. But that's true. I haven't dropped my bike, but you never know. I could drop it tomorrow, who knows? You never want to drop your bike after you just spent your hard-earned money on it. Just try to buy something that's within cash. It's a little hard these days with the fucking ridiculous Facebook Marketplace prices that are out there. The prices are fucking ridiculous. They make no damn sense. Everybody's selling a piece of shit bike for 5, 6, 7 grand. You go buy a new bike for 10. Anyways, enough ranting about the market. I could do a whole video just ranting about Facebook Marketplace and the shit that people post and how much they want for it. It's all ridiculous. Anyways, I'd recommend only start a 1000cc bike if you can afford it. And I'm not just meaning the bike. Anybody can go finance a 1000cc bike. Can you afford the insurance? And why do I say insurance? Because a lot of people, for some reason, I don't know why, I notice a lot of people aren't registering their bikes. They're not getting insurance. They're not going to do the proper stuff. So if they do get stopped by the police, they have issues. Another thing, if they wreck their bike, how the fuck are they supposed to fix it? I know a lot of people don't want full coverage because yada yada yada, costs more, blah blah blah. I have to do full coverage. If I crash my shit, I don't want a new bike. I don't want to pay out of pocket for it. I already paid for it. I'm not paying again. I don't want to pay a little extra just in case. But also, get some sort of insurance. Just get liability. That's all you need. It could be as low as like $50 a month or something. You just need something, just in case you get into an accident. You're not getting rammed with a bunch of bills, hospital bills, riding while uninsured, getting tickets, and you don't want all that problem. If you're gonna get a bike, especially a 1000cc bike, start as your first bike, come into this being serious. Do all the proper things. Take the M&S course, wear your gear. I don't care if you wear all your gear, I recommend it, but personal preference, I can care less. I wear all my gear. If you wear other gear, it's good. Get at least a helmet and gloves, bare minimum. Get the bike, try not to finance it. Try not to finance it, but get a bike that you can actually afford. And take your time with it. I just recommend taking your time with it. For the first say month or so, just take your time. You don't just get out there on the streets ripping it up. Take your time with it. And then also watch YouTube. There's a lot of great resources out there for free that will teach you how to ride these bikes and what to do in certain traffic situations and how to ride through traffic and how to navigate around certain things. Like, it can be dangerous, but it can also be safe if you know what you're doing and you practice for situations. Like, what are you going to do if a car pulls out in front of you? Are you going to freak out and start revving? Or are you actually going to swerve around the car, brake or avoid it, whatever you need, whatever the scenario is? Will you be able to handle it cool, calmly, and collected? Or what's the phrase? Cool, calm, collected? You shouldn't be panicking, is basically my point. You should be able to handle the situation without panicking. You shouldn't just grab a handful of brakes and freak out and start screaming. Some of these situations can be scary, especially for the first time getting cut off or a close call. I've had one, everybody's had one at some point. But that's what you're trained for. Trained to be able to swerve all the way, brake if you need to be able to avoid the accident or possible accident, or just a bad driver. People are on their phones, not paying attention. It can be dangerous. But at the same time, like now, just cruising through traffic, taking my time and going with the flow of traffic. I'm not flying down the middle of the street or in the middle of the lane, blowing by all the cars. I could. What's the point of that? It's just unnecessary. There's a time and a place to go fast and you want to go fast. And I would say to learn how to actually ride your bike, how to be able to stop, and how to handle your bike, at least before you start ripping on it. You don't let it cut up through traffic and then plow in the back of somebody or run into construction or car on the side of the road. You want to be able to have a chill cruise, at least for a while, be used to your bike. Well, that's enough of me yapping. I've been yapping for who knows how long, probably 20 minutes now. Should you get a 1000cc bike as your first bike? I would say no, unless you're cool, calm, collected, you're mature, you